Today on PimFim, I've been working with Parks and Rec a lot recently. It's been at times a little bit overwhelming, but I really like working with Parks and Rec. This is Chris. Let's go. I've given most of this rundown already, I think 2 videos ago, but I want to go through it again. The first week of April, I worked the entire week because of spring break. So that was the 3 days of day camp and the 2 excursions, going to Staircase and paintballing. The next Saturday, after having gone to see wrestling the night before, I had to get up early to go to a Lacey Park to give away trees. I was very tired, but I enjoyed myself. The next Friday, I worked an act night with Lacey, so I stayed up relatively late and then had to get up early the next day again to go to a different Lacey Park to pull weeds for an Earth Day event. So 2 weekends in a row, I had a long work day after a Friday that I'd spent staying up fairly late. One for pleasure, one for work. Now, this week, I've got no Lacey things going on, which is pretty nice, but next week, on Friday, I'm going to have another act night, so I'll be staying up fairly late again, and on that Saturday, I will be, once again, getting up pretty early to go to another volunteer opportunity. This time, it's a STEM, which means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, a STEM kind of fair for young kids. I believe it's aimed at the middle school, high school age. And I'm excited to, I guess, really just see what it is. But it seems like a really cool thing. And as always, these opportunities end up usually being pretty fun. So I am excited to go as much as I'm not excited about my 3rd Saturday of full work. In between that, the same week that I had the Act Night and the Earth Day event, it's worth pointing out that I also had a Teen Council event. Those are a lot less work for me. I'm basically there to hear about what's going on. I'm there to be responsible, but I'm also really there because I need to hear Cody telling them what's happening so that when the event happens, I can be responsible. But at the Teen Council meeting itself, I'm usually not doing much, and it usually lasts an hour to an hour and a half. But Lacey has kept me very busy this last month, and I just kind of want to talk more about those events because I've been doing other things. Every single time I want to talk about one, there's other stuff I want to talk about. I've talked about the spring break stuff. I don't think I need to spend much more time on that. I haven't really talked much about the Arbor Day event and how cool I thought that was. I'm not going to spend a lot more time on it because I have the other events and I've talked a little bit about Arbor Day already, but giving away those trees, the fact that we had so many and they all got taken, proving to me that the local community cares and they want those trees, and it's just not something I would have guessed. And if I didn't work for Lacey Parks and Rec, I might never have known that was an opportunity that existed. It was also such a perfect example of what I like about Lacey Parks and Rec, which is the type of person who wants to work with Lacey Parks and Rec, or with any Parks and Rec department, I think, is the type of person I'm gonna enjoy being around. It's a type of person who is okay with fairly thankless work and is okay with pretty physical work and is okay being outside. And so it was raining pretty hard the day that we were giving away trees, and I was standing under a tent, so I wasn't getting that wet, but I was moving out of the tent pretty frequently, and my job was to shovel dirt it was impossible to keep it dry even with the tent. And so it was basically mud, and we were shoveling it into all of these containers to start potting the trees. But I had a blast. And a big part of that is that the people that I was working with are great, and I like to be around them. And the people who were there, they're getting a free tree. So even if the line's long, even if it's raining, they were so appreciative of everything. And it's great. And it's so much better than being a teacher in that one aspect. It's so much better than being a teacher because everyone's so appreciative of the work that Parks and Rec does in a way that they aren't appreciative of teachers, at least not on a day-to-day basis. So then the next weekend, I had another act night. I don't really like talking about act nights. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love working act nights. It's generally just boring. You have to supervise kids and you're not participating in any way because there's just too many to allow me to participate with them. You know, if I'm interacting with a group of kids, there's 20 times more that I can't pay attention to. I enjoy the setup and I enjoy the teardown because then I'm working with my coworkers who are cool people. But the act night itself, I don't love. It keeps me out later than I'd like. I get home at like 11 o'clock, to be clear. I'm not home that late, but I'm home and full of adrenaline, and I've talked about that problem before as well. If I'm not in bed by 9, there's no way I'm getting to sleep by 10. So it's a problem for those reasons, but I like the money, and I like the people, and I like just kind of being there to remind Cody that, hey, I'm here. I like working for you. Please keep giving me opportunities. And then there was the Earth Day event, which was cool, in part just picking the weeds with all these volunteers. There were a ton of volunteers. That, again, was really cool to see these people volunteering to help out their community. I'm there, but I'm getting paid, and so I feel like they're the ones I should be thanking, and that was really cool. It was also a really fun peek behind the curtain at the end because often Nick, one of my coworkers, is the one who really puts things away at the end, and I'm going home hours before he's done, and I don't get to see the work that he does. And on Saturday, I got to see most of the work that he had to do at the end of it because I stuck around to help him. And a lot of it was trying to get so many trash bags full of weeds into a dumpster. And first of all, just getting the bags from the park to the dumpster, even with a van that we were filling full of weeds, which wasn't the best circumstance, but also a truck. Even with the 2 vehicles, it was many trips, and we filled a giant industrial dumpster. Not the kind of dumpster you have outside your apartment, a huge dumpster. It was full, and we had to start going to the smaller typical dumpster you see outside of an apartment or a fast food place. And man, it was pretty impressive to realize just how many weeds we'd picked. Future me, I hope you're still as excited about working with Parks and Rec as you are today.